Just a second here. My regular phone showed that you had a YouTube.
Well, it says we're live, but I'm not seeing it. What's the problem
I'm
here?
not, yeah, I'm not seeing it on my
It's,
other phone.
it just showed up. Okay, I got it. That was quite a delay. Yeah. So yeah,
There it
you
is.
might have. Yeah, you see me now.
Just a second here.
Yeah. So you may have noticed I'm making a bunch of new content for this channel. Um, but I wasn't sure if I should be doing this. Making basically travel vlog videos. You know.
I find it interesting. I like to see what area you're in and what else going on and around you. So I'm enjoying it.
Well,
And
ever since
said,
YouTube first began, I was one of the very first people on YouTube. Like I started doing it right away because I, I thought it is a way to share with my family. Like it's like I called it my home videos channel, and the name
Mhm.
of my channel is Scott Yates. My original channel. It's only got like 150 or 160 followers, and I posted just some like videos anybody would take on vacation, pretty much, right? Um, but at the time, like I had no equipment. I had this really crappy, tiny little RCA, believe it or not, video camera. And it was weird because this was back in like 2009, 2010, maybe 2008 when I started. But my mom had sent me this, and my sister sent me this little video camera, and it was shaped like a smartphone today, but this was like even I think this was before even iPhones were out, and
Mm.
the quality was really poor, and it took like double A batteries to run it, and I had absolutely no way of editing, so I would just do these really crappy videos, and uh, and this was like even before YouTube was monetized. And then once YouTube started to monetize, I thought, oh wow, maybe I can actually, make money by doing travel videos. Once again, I had no equipment, I had no way of editing, no smartphones back then. I didn't even have a computer back then. I would go to like a computer internet shop and plug my USB in there and upload videos.
Neat.
But then I got lucky with this channel, started doing this, and recently I had the idea of trying to bring my old channel, the very old one, um, like monetize it by really dedicating it to being a travel channel.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it's extremely hard to get a YouTube channel up to like where I'm at right now with this one. And the only
Yeah.
reason I was able to do this is because Janine Morajo, Tarot by Janine, who had at the time probably all combined 250,000 viewers, she talked about me one time in one. It wasn't even the video wasn't even about me. She was talking about her house, and she just happened to show my picture on her laptop, and that's what got me started. But that's extremely hard to do. If anybody's ever tried to start a YouTube channel to get it to monetize, it's very
Oh,
hard.
I bet. Yeah, I tried talking my son into doing something on YouTube there for a bit, and he posted one video, and that was it. So it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's actually pretty soul crushing when you put a lot of work into a video and you post it and then it gets like 100 views or even worse like 20 views, and
Oh, keep going down.
yeah, it just really feels bad. So so
Yeah.
uh so but this is my dream to do because I live in, I mean, I've got one of the most beautiful places in the world and interesting places in the world to show, you know.
Oh, you do. And it's
So then I thought,
definitely.
well, I've got this channel with all of these followers, and even though it's like two totally different genres, right? Video vlog and tarot reading and truth seeking and the Great Awakening. Um, but then I thought, you know, what the hell? I'm just gonna put them on here and see what people think. And you know, it hasn't been great. I mean, these videos have not been getting a lot of views, like 150 is almost nothing compared to what you need to actually generate revenue.
True, but I kind of like it because it gives us something to watch in between your main shows.
Yeah, and I've gotten I've gotten better at editing, so it doesn't take me as much time. And I've bought a whole bunch of new tech. So I'm going to show you how I've been making those videos. I got this.
Those are glasses.
So these are sunglasses with a little
Mm-hmm.
camera embedded in them. It's pretty cool how they do this. It's got a 128 Mega Drive memory card. I could probably tape 8 hours with this.
Oh,
And
that's good.
I wasn't sure it was going to work because I wear glasses and would they fit? So I'm able to fit them over pretty. I mean, they look kind of goofy, but you know, in Thailand, you're a foreigner. Everybody thinks you're a goofy tourist anyway. And I can put them up here and I can film like that, and nobody knows that you're filming them, which is kind of cool because then you get candid reactions. And you know, I think everybody knows by now in public you can't refuse to be videotaped. Like if you're in public, then there's no assumed privacy, you know. And so, anyways, I
True.
got that, and this is a 9 foot cord that I'll be able to plug this into my laptop, and then with this is a mobile modem, and this is a 40,000 megahertz capacity battery,
Oh, wow.
and I'm going to be able to I'll hook that up to I can so I can take my laptop. I can have Wi-Fi anywhere. I can have extended battery life that lasts for hours, and I can go mobile. And so, what this channel was before I turned it into my Intuitive Insights and Tarot, I was trying to do flat Earth activism, and that's where you go around and you interview people or ask people about flat Earth, what or what they know about the world, and then you just have a conversation with them. And I've got a pretty big university near me, and so I made a couple of videos, and they're actually pretty good of me just talking to people and asking them questions that made them think. And and so I'm going to marry these two concepts. So I'm going to take this idea of going mobile. I've got this university there, and I'm going to combine my teaching experience, 20 years as a teacher, and my tarot, and I'm going to make a little sign. So let me back up for a minute. This university has these study halls, and like one of them, I used to use it to tutor students there, private students there. There's a
Oh,
7-Eleven on campus, and then outside the 7-Eleven, there's like an eating area with probably
mhm.
20 picnic tables. And on any given day when school's in, there's 20 or 30 or 40 students there with their tutors studying. A lot of them are studying English. So I'm going to bring my whiteboard. I'm going to make a sign that says practice English and get a tarot reading for free. The only stipulation is you have to be on video.
All right.
So I'm going to sit down and do, hopefully, people come over, sit down next to me. Plus, they just want to talk to a foreigner anyway. And then I'm gonna do tarot readings for them. But I'm also gonna I want to interview them because these are young people, right, between 18 and 22. I want to interview them about what they think of the world, and so I'm thinking it should be interesting if I can do that.
That should be real interesting.
So
I
that's
like
the plan, and then also just to go to beautiful places, visit beautiful places, temples and parks and stuff like that, and make videos there.
yeah.
Oh, and this is the other thing, pot. Can you guess what this is?
Well, that's too thick to be a mini laptop.
Nope, it's not a laptop.
Ooh. Oh, your drone.
Yeah. Can't believe how tiny these things are and powerful. Oops. And I don't have any good place to fly it around here. It's too claustrophobic around my house, so I haven't really had much time to practice with it.
Oh, isn't
But
that cute?
it's got three cameras on the front. It's got lights, and
Mm.
so all of this stuff I told myself was an investment into my YouTube channel, and altogether I've spent like $300 on everything. I still have to pay for like a license or permitting fee for this. It's going to be like
Oh,
another $150 plus insurance on it. So, and then there's always the possibility. See, so like my old channel, my home movies channel, Scott Yates YouTube channel, I've got one video on there with 500,000 views.
is that the one with the snake?
It's a snakehead fish actually,
Yeah,
and
I
a
remember
very
that.
cute 24-year-old Filipino girl who was my girlfriend at the time, which I really think she's the only reason that that video got so many views. I couldn't figure out what it was, except that it's a walking fish, right? And but imagine if I'm out making videos like this in Thailand and I catch something that goes viral like that. Can you imagine how much, if I posted it here on my monetized channel, can you imagine how much I'd get for 500,000 views?
No, considering I don't know how much YouTube pays, but I can imagine it'd be a
That
nice
would
chunk of
five
change.
if I had a video that got 500,000 views in 1 month, I can only imagine, I can only guess that the revenue from that 1 month would be two, three, four, $5,000 possibly.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
So think about that when you see these big YouTubers who get those many views a week. They're making millions of dollars a year, those guys. I did the math for Janine one time, and I came up, she was making that combined with the other things. So she didn't do the one thing. She did other things. She must have been making a couple $1 million a year at one point, and she
Um,
probably still is.
wow.
Yeah. So good
That,
for her.
yeah, that's great when people can do that,
Yeah. Yep. And
especially with,
that was never my goal. When I started this channel, to me, it was just a way to get people out there and let people know that I could do private readings. So I've always said that this channel has always been more of a infomercial for doing readings, which, by the way, we're going to get to in just a minute here. I just wanted to tell you guys the new direction I was hoping to go in, and also I kind of wanted to get your opinions. Um, should I stay in my lane and just stick with tarot cards and the woo-woo stuff? Or should I mean, I've already made the investment, you know. Um, do you think I shouldn't mix genres? You've already said this, but I guess I'm looking for, permission or something. And maybe I feel guilty for because I'm like I feel like I'm forcing people to watch my home movies. You know, like come over here, sit down, look at this photo album I have.
No, I think it's neat, because I like to see other countries, and hopefully someday I can travel there. And with your videos, I'll have an idea of what to look for and expect, and the people and how friendly they are and everything. So I like them. And like I said, it also fills in between, gives me something to watch, waiting for your main shows going on, which I'm always there for anyway. So,
I kind of have fun doing them. So yeah, I'll be doing them now. I mean, unless it gets to where it's like I'm putting too much effort and time into it for very little payoff. So actually, you guys could really help me out by going and watching those videos. And I never do the like, share thing, right? I never say that because this has
true.
always been about me reaching out to people who I can then do private readings for, and that I don't need big views. But now I'm asking people if you like my travel videos, um, hit the like button and share it. Help me get more viewers and bring in. I'm trying to bring in like people who maybe aren't interested in tarot, but they're interested in seeing what's in Thailand. And then maybe those people, if they come here looking for videos of Thailand and they end up learning something new, well, then that's cool too.
And Colleen says that she's been watching.
Oh yeah, Colleen. Yeah, I've got like my core, people, but really most people have, I mean, if you consider I've got 10,000 uh subscribers and my videos are only getting like 150 views in a week. Okay, so let's move on. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the November specials over where I was doing $65 for readings down from $80. However, for new readers, I'm going to maintain that $65 or I'm sorry, for new clients. So if you've never had a reading with me and you'd like to take advantage of this special rate for I'm sorry, that was October. My special was 65. November is $65 for any new clients. 77X Wow, hi. Yeah, I gave you a wrench. I saw you on with Janine, or no, I saw you on a Beyond Mystic video the other day in the comments. I said, "Hey, I know her." And yeah, guys, I have the chat set to members for now. I'm going to open it up in about 5 minutes if you want to get questions in. But first, I wanted to just tell you about these things that are going on with me and give my members hello 77XWOW. Yeah, and give my members a chance to get their questions in first. That's the perk of being a member. And by the way, thank you to everybody who stayed on as members. That helps me out a lot. As I was saying, I never expected this channel to create a lot of revenue. I was hoping that like $300 was like my target. If I had an extra $300 a month from YouTube, that would really help me. That would pay my rent and my electric and all my bills.
Hmm.
And now with my members and with the help of Honey, because Honey really is the main driver of the revenue, as much as I hate to admit it. But the shows that I do with her, those are really the main thing that makes me money here.
Always enjoy seeing her and Alyssa.
Hmm. And Brenda, thank you for the super chat. Yes, and I got sidetracked a little bit. So what I was saying is, yeah, it looks like I'm finally getting to the point where I can maintain about $300 a week and a month, and I'm really happy about that. Let's see, a new direction, my new tech I talked about, special rates. Okay, and that's about everything I want to say. So, anyways, thank you guys for being patient with me and letting me show my home movies and show you around Thailand. I know it's not what you would expect from this channel, and yeah, like I said, I think I'm gonna change the name to Intuitive Insights from Thailand. It's a little bit shorter and
I would definitely let everybody know that you are in Thailand.
yeah, it's a lot of people don't know where I am, and okay, so hold on a second. I'm going to check out. Let me get to the questions now. I'm going to start with first. I'm going to answer the questions in the chat from my members, and then I'll go and open up the chat to everybody.
Okay.
Oh, wait, before this, I was talking about. I wanted to talk about something I saw Janine and Jean-Claude talking about. Do you watch them? I'm sure you do, right?
Once in a while, I will catch what they've got going on, especially getting so close to the election. I like to see what her cards have to say.
Oh, well, let's talk about that for a little bit. We were talking about this before we went live, and you said Phil Godleski is about to go live. Has he still not gone live yet?
No, I just saw a notice that he would be back tomorrow. Says
Oh,
he's fine. We'll be back tomorrow. So evidently something came up.
yeah. Well, I'm a little bit disappointed in Phil because I was expecting Kamala to have dropped out by now.
Yeah, if she's going to, it's going to have to be within the next 24 to 48 hours. Not even 48 now, what time it is here. So
Right. So,
then,
I often talk about how I'm very open to the most woo-woo of wooiest woo, right? But I also try to measure that against my left side logical brain. And when people first start talking about this unprecedented event of there not being a an event on the 5th of November, um, my logical brain says that's crazy. That's not going to happen. Over 250 years of U.S. history, it's never happened. I just couldn't see it happening. And so yeah, looks kind of like the logic brain is going to win out on this one, even though Honey was saying it. My, I said it as well. My cards, every time I looked at it, my cards said things like I got like martial law or the tower or all kinds of things like that. So I'm guilty of it just as much as anybody. But especially Phil because he's not getting his information from some woo-woo source. He's supposedly an insider getting inside information, right?
correct.
And
But
he
like I
told
said, this is a war and things are fluid. And just because you have plans in a war doesn't mean that, sometimes you have to go to plan B or plan C because the war is fluid. So I'm still hoping that something will happen
oh,
tomorrow.
right. That's true. We still have time for something like this to happen, so I haven't given up. But still, I mean, the Occam's razor.
Yep,
The simplest answer is usually the correct one. The simplest answer is that it's so unprecedented, it's such a far-fetched notion that something like that would happen. It probably wouldn't. So that's my left side of my brain, right? Saying that. My right side's going, but Honey says this, and Phil says this, and my cards say this. So, anyways, we still have time. Oh, there's an astrologer named Meg Moonbeam. She's with the Beyond Mystic crew.
yeah, I've heard of her. I haven't ever watched her.
So I just happened to click on her video about a week ago, and she's one of the few people who was saying something different. She's saying that there was going to be a selection event on the 5th of November. However, what she was getting in her astrological reading was that something so big, so massive was going to happen right around that time that is just gonna nobody's gonna even care. And to me, that feels more possible than Kamala dropping out and all that. So, so we, and it, maybe America looks so weak right now that this would be a good time for her enemies to make a move in Taiwan or North Korea, you know.
or even right here at home.
Well, yeah, yeah, right. Um, maybe so we know that this event is going to be so close. No matter which side wins, there's going to be chaos, right? And that would be a great opportunity for America's enemies to do something, right?
Well, I do know here in my area, I have been seeing more military helicopters in the sky, especially at night, and they are flying pretty high. You can't hear the whomp whomp of the blades or anything, so they're not down under radar.
Hmm.
Plus, we had another uh, caravan military go through Sydney this weekend too.
Well,
So something.
yeah, yeah, that I was wondering about that. And if anybody in the chat has seen military around, let us know about that. But my sister is a hairdresser, and she has no interest in politics or what's going on in the greater world. But she says she's noticed an uptick in her clients' anxiety over this day. Hey,
Hmm.
dogs. So everybody is expecting something big to happen, and and anyways, so this close, Cherie, I trust your judgment. You're very knowledgeable because you follow a lot of um, truthers, and you're pretty wise. What's your prediction for what's going to happen in the next 2 days?
Well, with the military around the White House, I think a lot of that and the razor wire going up again, pointing to the inside again. I really see things going down. I see a lot of things coming out in the open with our so called elected officials. I don't think the military is there to protect against the MAGA people. I think it's there to protect against the Harris people, Democrats.
Yeah,
And I
well,
think
the
I
paid
see,
the paid protesters and the George Soros uh, minions, right?
yeah. And with the military having control over the computers and the machines, I see that a lot of their fake, phony, and fraud election ballots being exposed. And
Allegedly, Tree. Let's be careful with the language that we use on YouTube, okay?
yeah,
That,
sorry,
yeah, that what you just said right there could get this channel in
yeah.
trouble.
I'm so used to being on Zoom with you, not having to worry about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Just a reminder.
but I also see that they're going to do a last hurrah and bring out all the stops, and we might see the fake UFOs, aliens, slash all of that kind of stuff, so that they can interrupt the so-called choosing who we want.
Right.
So I really see a lot of things happening within the next few days to a week. I'm looking forward to it. I
Oh
can't wait
yeah.
to see
It
it.
is. I've cleared my schedule, and I'm going to be riveted to the news channels and internet. And so you said Phil has postponed for tonight for
Correct.
tomorrow.
Correct.
Colleen says Meg tends to be right on the money much of the time. And yeah, there's something about what she said resonated with me too. Um, you know, there's semantics in this. Like, so there's not, the people are saying there's not going to be an election. What if this happens, but it just doesn't count. It just like let's say it goes through and it looks like everything happened the way it normally is supposed to, but yet there's a hung jury with because nobody gets selected, and then at some point they lock down everybody with martial law, and then they do the EBS and they say, "Surprise, everybody!" Really, there hasn't been a government in America for several years. The corporation has been ended. It's been the government has been run through process of de-evolution, devolution, right? And there's a small committee. So all of this that we've been seeing in politics is just it's all been a charade. So there's a possibility that that might happen, that it looks like it happened, but actually, you know, there
Well,
was
that and with Trump even pushing the early voting, I'm wondering if the early voting is going to count more than the day of voting. That they're going to go with the early votes and not necessarily the day of.
okay. Well, I think it's time to ask the cards what's going to happen on the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. All right. So if we're still on this timeline, then I expect to see for the outcome a tower, uh, a an emperor, chariot, any of the knights representing martial law. Uh, so let's see what the cards tell us. Are we
Very,
still
very.
every time I've looked at it before, I usually get a martial card law like the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Swords. I'm a little bit anxious about this. Okay, the first card represents the collective consciousness of those who are awake. That's all of us who are watching this. Well, there's a knight, but he's standing down. He's waiting. He's loyal. He trusts in the CNC, the commander in chief, and so is this card. This is everybody's like hunkered down in their homes with their 2 weeks of water and food supplies. You know, very anxious. There's another Pentacles. This represents the money that you guys, the silver and the currencies you guys have been holding on to, getting ready for this. There's the Great Awakening right in the middle, the Judgment card. That's the card of the Great Awakening that we're all going through. And here's the Outcome card. I'm really anxious about this, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I didn't mention it, but
Yep.
this is the Janine just did in her reading. Her question was different. It was about the demonic attacks a lot of people are under right now, which I was going to talk about that too tonight. So
Yeah.
this is us coming to the top, and the cabal who's been running the show on the bottom. It's also unexpected. So expect the unexpected. This is another thing I've been saying. There could be another scenario. There's three scenarios, right? Everything happens the way it's supposed to, just another day at the ballot box on November 5th. Or
Mhm.
something like Kamala stepping down, or World War III breaking out, or something, or alien invasion. But there's something else that nobody's thought of. All right.
Oh,
And this is something I've been saying for a long time. Expect the unexpected, something that we haven't even thought of before. And let's see if we can get some clarification of what that could be. Nope. See,
oh.
this is information that we're not meant to know.
Wait and
Okay.
see.
Yeah, it's a wait and see. So expect the unexpected. Um, be ready to hunker down in your homes. for some time. Trust the plan and trust those who are in charge. Uh, but um, but I'm not getting a definitive answer. It, the
It's
good
really nice
guys
to
are
know
moving to
something.
the top and expect the unexpected. So interesting. All
Really makes you
right.
wonder what Phil has to tell us tomorrow. Because he said election information. So
Oh,
I guess
really?
yeah. So I guess we'll just have to wait till tomorrow, see what he has.
So let me see. Russ says even future tarot card readings are probability. That's right. No, I very much, Russ. I never use superlatives. This is going to happen, or that. It's constantly changing, and the way Honey describes it, all the timelines are smushed together right now, so it's real easy to jump from one to the other. Um, and Russ goes on to say those involved can use their free will to change the future. That's true too.
Yep.
Now let me go back to the questions that some of my members have asked, and you can help me if you see anything. Russ says he didn't know I was coming on tonight. Yeah, I know. That's my fault because I had it set to private when I posted it, so nobody saw that. However, Russ, my usual schedule is Honey every other week, and then I do a solo. This I call this my YOLO YouTube solo shows, and I try to do these every other week. Um, Last couple weeks, I took the day, or for my birthday last week, I took 2 weeks ago, I took it off. So and because it's a different time now, because you guys have changed your clocks back, and I we don't change our clocks. So
I
it's
can
a
ask you
little
that.
bit later for me, which is nice, and it's a little bit earlier for you, which is nice. What was that, Cherie?
I was going to ask you if you guys changed times or not over there.
No. And I was so grateful to come to a place where I don't have to lose that hour of sleep and then get it back every year. Okay.
Definitely.
So Sarah, I've got a question for from Sarah, and I'm curious. This is not so it's not set to members only chat, is it?
I can't tell on my side.
I'm gonna have to open up my studio. I'm in the studio. Where is it? Oh, ask in the chat is can anybody post, or is it only for
Mine says chat publicly as Shree Sanders, so I don't
yeah,
think it's on member.
I know, but you're a member.
I'm a member anyway, so
So I'm asking in the chat, does anybody oh
it
well.
says subscribers only mode. Messages that appear from people who subscribe to this channel for 5 minutes or longer. So
Okay,
that's
so
subscribing.
that's everybody.
Yep.
I thought I had this
Sandy,
figured out this time.
Sandy says everyone is posting.
Yeah, okay, no problem. I guess I'll just leave it this way. I thought I had it set to members only. Okay, never mind. So, anyways, let me read this question from Sarah. Will my estranged daughter and I reconnect and let me also meet my first and only grandson? Thank you, Scott. I loved your videos. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. Oops. So let me read it one more time. Will my estranged daughter and I reconnect. This past 4 years, this Great Awakening has estranged so many people from their family. It's really kind of sad. I get this question, probably one of the most asked questions I get. Okay, so change this view here. And for Sarah, your daughter and your grandchild. Okay, Sarah. Well, that's the Ten of Pentacles, which represents the whole family. Two of Wands, laying plans for the future. Ten of Swords in the past, strength. It's a challenge. Oh, the Hanged Man. And the Four of Swords. And the Page of Wands. So it's going to be some time, I'm afraid, Sarah. The outcome is the Hanged Man. So she's going to keep you hanging on for a while. But don't give up hope. There's definitely hope here. Um, you should plan for a time when you will be able to meet your grandchild. You said grandson, right? Um, I'm wondering if there's any way you could make an arrangement to have like a visit with your son, even if your daughter doesn't want to meet with you. Okay, because I'm saying that because I have this child here and making plans with that child. But looks like your daughter is going to continue to keep you at arm's length for some time. Let me see how long that's going to go on for. Not too much longer. Three of Wands and then a Page of Wands. So I think this is getting through with something. Once we're on the other side of of what's going on. So Sarah, once your daughter starts to see that you've been right about what you've been saying, then I think you'll be surprised. Okay, that's the other thing with that Page of Cups. He surprises us. So at some point when you least expected, so I would say you don't try to push it. Let her come to you because eventually she will. Once she becomes enlightened. It's the other thing with the Hanged Man. He goes through something difficult, which then gives him inspiration and enlightenment. So she needs to go through a difficult time before she can reunite with you. Okay, and that makes sense.
Well, it is
Okay,
good news. It's not going to last forever.
you're right. And all these people who have been thinking we're crazy, right? That's what we all want so much. It's for people to know that we're not crazy. And
Amen.
okay, and Brenda, thank you for the super chat, Brenda. She says, "How soon will my adult child who has brain injuries and Purcell's in pursue
Meant to type, meant to type physical injuries and brain.
what that Purcell, that word?
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, from a car accident, going to the medbed. Okay, a medbed question. I'm his mom and sole caretaker. How soon will my adult child? Okay, so everybody wants to know when, how soon, and I can't give you a date or a time or anything, but and I think we need to all stop questioning whether or not we're going to get med beds. I think even though I don't have it on firsthand knowledge that they exist, people like Elisa have it. You know, she's seen
Mhm.
them. She's been there. And we could say, oh well, I don't believe that, or we could trust her. For me, I choose to believe Elisa when she says it. So I have
I,
no question that these med beds exist. And even before, without Elisa, when I did my own research into them, I mean, people were working on this type of technology 100 years ago. Nikola
yep.
Tesla invented something, right? And then the Rife machine. If you don't know what a Rife machine, that's real. That's real technology. I did extensive research into that. So I have no doubt in my mind this technology exists.
That it does.
But I will give it an attempt, Brenda, to tell you when your son could benefit from this. Okay? What I want is the age regression
You
med
and I
bed.
both. Can't wait to be in my 20s again.
Hey. So I'm gonna sound kind of preachy here, but by asking these questions, when people keep asking these questions, when is this going to happen? When are we going to get the RV? When are the aliens going to give disclosure? You're limiting your belief, okay? Because that means you don't truly believe. You have doubts, which is okay, but don't give those doubts any voice. Trust your intuition. That's what the universe wants us to do, and we create this into manifestation faster when we do that. Now this page of cups is coming up upside down. That's because you're not listening to that small inner voice that comes from the heart. Okay, that's through the intuition into our heart chakra. I'm sorry, did you say something, Cherie?
Pardon me, I had to go and cough.
Okay, I thought you were talking to me. And
Nope.
okay, and then the other card we have here is the ten of wands, and you mentioned being the sole caregiver. So I understand you're under a great deal of pressure from the responsibility of being the sole caregiver to your son. But this technology exists, and they're making there are plans already laid to get everybody into med beds in the future. But and Sheree, you understand what I mean? I feel like I'm admonishing people. Stop doing this. You're the ones who are slowing it down. But I
Now, I understand being anxious for something, but you
mhm,
also have to remember that we have to believe in it. We have to know that it's going to work, and we know that they are coming out. How quickly, I don't know. They are saying that the military is going to be first,
mhm,
then the children, which, by what I've gathered, the children from the underground facilities are already being utilizing the med beds.
mhm,
So it is happening. It's just going to be a while before it gets to the public. But by what I've heard, there's already facilities set up with med beds and with mobile med beds also. Probably by what I can gather, to come to the rural areas where we don't have as big a hospitals and everything. So instead of worrying about when is it going to happen, just be joyful that it is going to happen.
Right. That's a good way to say it. Yeah, it reminds me of when we were kids, sitting in the back seat, going on vacation. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? You
Yep.
know, and the parents getting angry. And if you remember when you were that kid who's kept asking, "Are we there yet?" That made it feel longer. Instead, if you just
Yep.
sit back and enjoy the ride, play the games, like spotting license plates, and enjoy the beautiful scenery that's around you. Enjoy the
Or
company of your loved ones. What was that?
finding animals up in the clouds.
Yeah, yeah, and
That was my favorite.
I Spy.
Yep. Played those a lot. One from one end of the United States to the other, moving, traveling, vacation. So if you played games and just found fun in the traveling, whether it was the scenery outside or the clouds or the cars and colors, just we got there faster, it seemed like. So it's kind of like with the med beds. Just know that they are there. They will be available. And just thank the Lord that we have the technology and it is going to be given to us and used for our benefit.
Yeah. Hey Rob, I want to say hello to Rob. Yeah, it's not your fault you're late. I didn't put this video out earlier to let people know that I was going to be in. But once again, I want people to know that I'm pretty much here every Sunday night. And now with the change, it'll be 9 p.m. But Honey's a little bit earlier because she likes to be on early.
That's
Russ says,
right, Russ. Yep.
Alana Denan has firsthand experience with medbeds too. Yeah, and I trust her. A lot of people start turning on her at one point. I don't know why. I like her. I love listening to her stories of traveling on on starships and stuff like that. They do the job of up to 10 holographic med bed much faster. Yeah, oh yeah, there's all kinds of med beds out there. You
And I'm still
manifest
using
beds into your matrix by knowing they exist in your heart. Thank you for that, Russ. That's a good way to put it. Oh,
definitely.
Elisa. Hello, Elisa.
Yep, I see
See,
Elisa there.
Elisa knows. She's seen them.
Yep. And she's great too. She
And
really is.
Sandy's right that we do have our ability to heal ourselves. Okay, and I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat.
Clear up here at the beginning, we had Lagatha 3193. And do you see the throat problems I'm having being my thyroid? Gordia?
Oh yeah, that one I got to do. However, I need to take a short break. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Read some news or something, Cherie.
Oh my goodness gracious. I watch 12 to 14 hours worth of news a day. There's so much going on. I'm just watching the silver prices and watching the stock market, waiting for that big moment. Really liked how Harris was on Saturday Night Live, and now they're yelling that they won't be giving the same time to Trump. There's a lot going on. Yeah, Alyssa, I've been using my 9010 med bed now for a couple of years, keeping me going, healing little things. I'm sorry I haven't been typing into the chat much to say hello to everybody, but so glad to see everybody here again. Just love our online family. You guys are the greatest. Okay, Sunny, I'll make sure that Scott sees your question here in a minute. Yeah, Alyssa, dancing across the sky every night. It is just absolutely beautiful. Brenda, that's too bad. Your son. That we'll pray for him until the Medbeds come out. Thank you, Alyssa. I don't know about you guys, but this nice weather has got me kind of curious of what's coming up for the rest of the winter. Here in Nebraska, we were back up in the 50s and 60s today, and that is totally wild for Nebraska.
Oh, okay, I'm back. Boy, that was a call of nature I couldn't ignore.
Well, better not.
Right.
Nature has a way of getting her way.
So everybody talks
Beautiful.
about how much they like Lenny, but this is the real star of the show here.
Oh, beautiful.
My wildcat.
You're definitely starting on your animal shelter, aren't you?
Yeah. But can you believe this cat is 18 years old?
Oh, wow.
She's missing some teeth. Got
Oh,
that one.
poor baby.
Broke that one.
Uh,
People didn't believe me when I say this is a true wild cat. You're going to see her anger here in just a minute. She does not like to be toyed with. But this
independent.
this is a special cat right here. You can't go out and buy a cat like this.
She's beautiful.
Look at that. And
Like, really, Dad?
she's gotten mellow now, but I'm genuinely when she was younger and she would turn on me, I was genuinely afraid of this cat. She's a scary cat. So let me set her free. She's mad because I haven't filled her food bowl yet. She's out there waiting to get fed. All right, I drew my mouse and all my cards are scattered on the floor. So hold on a second. Oh. Got a mess to clean up. Hold on a second. All right. My air conditioner is pouring water onto the floor. My cards just fell down there, and now gotta make sure they're not wet.
Oh,
They're all
heavens.
and they're all mixed up now. Okay. So we got any more questions on the chat? I'm probably going to be wrapping this up pretty soon.
Lagatha 3193 had her, was wondering if her problems were is her thyroid.
Oh, the thyroid question. Yeah. Um, what was her name?
Like Lagasa 3193,
Let me find it.
which is very Viking.
Well, you read it for me again. I'll just listen.
Do you see the throat problems I'm having being my thyroid, goiter?
Okay, so I'm not a doctor and I don't give medical advice. And I'm not sure. Well, like thyroid. Okay, I know. Thyroid is the throat, and swords um, are about throat. Sword cards are for that part of the body. So let me see what I get. Now my cards are all usually all my I don't do inverted cards, but they just fell, so there's going to be some inverted cards in here for sure. Okay, that's a 10 of wands. Devil. 3 of wands, the moon. Devil and the moon. Hmm. Okay. So yes, according to this, and you heard me say it, swords are the throat, and aces are yes. And this is some past life karma thing too, okay? The magician in the world and the devil. So it looks like there you had a past life where you had a great responsibility with words. Um, Maybe somebody who was like I want to say like an old-timey newspaper print, like a publisher. Um, or somebody who in a past life this was a shadow, one of your shadows. You disseminated false information and lies. Okay. Which is now manifesting in this problem with your thyroid. So, um, yes, go to a doctor, have a doctor check it out and get help there, but also find out how you can cut these, this connection to your shadow, to a shadow self from the past. Uh, Come back in a week when Honey's on and ask Honey. We'll tell Honey about this and ask her if she can unravel those connections for you. She can do that. Okay.
Cohen
Uh,
has a question.
okay, hold on a second. I want to say Sunny. Sunny says, "Happy Sunday, Scott. I'm not in Sunday anymore. It's Monday here." So people people have a really hard time with those time zones, and I understand. I've been doing this for years, and I still get confused. I owe a lot. I owe a lot in taxes. Will my Okay, I'm not going to answer that question because that's all going out the window soon. Don't, and that's another one of these things where it's this fear of lack or fear of not having money and all this. And believe me, I get it. I've been there myself. However, I don't voice it publicly very often, or so let's all envision a world where there's no taxes and no unfair fees, and we don't have to pay so much to live in the world that God created for us, right?
Amen.
I want to read the chat a little bit here.
Okay, Cohen.
Russ says
Okay.
is talking to Elisa. heard you needed a fifth dimensional mindset for holographic med beds to work. Hmm. As your conscious, as it's your consciousness that operates them. Then I heard the holographic medbed will boost your consciousness. Okay,
And
beautiful
by what
cat.
I've heard, just need
Go
to
ahead.
go in believing that you'll be healed. So it's on your own believing. If you believe you'll be healed, then it can help you. If you don't believe it, then it won't do anything for you. That's by what I've my understanding of what I've gleaned.
Well, it won't matter on belief anymore. When you see somebody who you knew was, in bad shape, and then you see them later and they say, "Hey, I just went to a med bed and now I'm fit as a fiddle," then that will remove any kind of doubt.
Exactly. It'll be a snowball effect. You're going to have your doubters at first, but when they start seeing that everybody is getting benefits from it, their belief will change.
Excuse me here, I'm reading the chat, guys. Looking for something. Okay, well yeah, 77X. Wow. My tarot card read 2 years ago. Oh, she's about the one that I did for you. You saw that something else but disability pension will come to me. Can you relook, please? I need to apply for DP again. Something still coming? Work or humanitarian? I need to apply for DP again. What's DP? Disability payments, right?
I think so.
Or pension. 2 years ago, I told you that something else but disability. Okay. Oh, disability pension, right? Will come to me. Yeah. 77X Wild. I told you that 2 years ago, and we're still on that same track. And I've done this question a lot of times. Honey's mentioned it, so I'm just gonna say, yeah. Just hold on. You're good. We're all gonna be getting back our birthright money that's been stolen from us for generations. Okay, but it's going to be in a trust fund, so you're not going to be able to go out and buy a mansion and a Lamborghini, but you're not going to have to worry about money. Um, what, Sheree, have you ever been? Because I mean, you're about my age, right? You're a couple of years older than me, or whatever. Have you ever been so
Mm-hmm.
down and out where you were like barely could afford to eat every day?
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
Yep. I've been there. I've had enough to feed my kids, but not myself. And whatever they
Hmm.
didn't eat off their plates is what I eat. So yeah, I've
Hmm.
been there.
And I think probably most of the people watching here have been there. And I've certainly been there. And did it kill you? No,
Nope.
didn't kill
Still
you.
here.
Was it uncomfortable? Yeah. Did you still manage to find ways to
Yep.
find joy and happiness? Yep.
Oh,
So,
every morning, every night when I put the kids to bed,
that's
and
right.
just stand there and watch them and be thankful that I had them.
Yeah.
You know,
And a few
and I
years
may
ago,
have gone without eating that day, but
back in 2016, I didn't have work and I didn't have anybody in my life. I was completely alone. I had a cavity that was impacted or abscessed. I didn't have it only cost like $15 here to get it extracted. I didn't even have money to go to the dentist. I was in so much agony. I've never been in so much pain in my life. Um,
mm,
and that was a low moment for me, but it didn't kill me. I survived it, and I'm thriving now. Um, So once again, I'm sounding preachy here, but these questions about money, am I going to have enough money for this or that? Do you have something to eat today? And I believe me, I've been in parts of the world where people were not eating every day or not eating enough every day. They live in shacks. They don't have shoes on their feet, you know. In a way, we've had it too soft in America, you know.
Yeah, and then this next new generation that expect everything handed to them. So nothing was ever handed to me.
Tim Brown says Scott has grown a lot since I followed him. Yeah, I thank you, Tim. Um, I've gone through a transformation over the past 2.5 years. Um, it's really been pretty remarkable, and I appreciate you saying that, Tim.
Russ, I'd like to know more about that book.
What's that? About what?
Russ put the book of Sinai was compiled from many ancient scrolls going back tens of thousands of years. The Tower of Babel was
Hmm.
a spaceport. Malevolent
Hmm.
aliens shut down the humans launched into space. I'd like to know more about that book, if I could, please.
Are you ask? Is that a question for the cards, or you're asking them?
Well, I would kind of like to ask the cards too, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, hold on a second.
Plus the fact that Russ.
Let me get Colleen's question here. When I was
Yep.
abducted, was I rescued by the Pleiadians? And how old was I when it happened? Okay, so she's stating this as a fact. She was abducted, um, and she
Mhm.
was, and I can assume that, well, abduction is a violent act, all right? So right away, you know that these are probably the Greys who had an agreement with the old government in America when there was a, I should say, a corporation. They made an agreement with the aliens to kidnap us and do experiments on us for stuff in return for technology. I don't know if people know that. There's a new show on it's a three-part documentary on Netflix right now called Abducted in Manhattan. It's one of this happened, I think, in the 80s. It was one of the most documented, most witnessed eyewitnesses. There were 20 eyewitnesses who saw this woman floated out of her apartment. There was physical evidence. There was an implant found in her nose, right? That was removed from a doctor. So anybody out there who still doubts that these things happen, it's been basically proven now. And then on top of that, you have governments coming out saying, "Yeah, we have UAPs that have been crashed and shot down, and yeah, we have the biologics who are in them, meaning the aliens." So it's not a question anymore.
Mhm.
We're, you know, so when you read this question from Colleen, when I read this question, I take it as a matter of fact that she knows that she was abducted. Okay, she wants to know if she was rescued by the Pleiadians and how old was she when it happened. Okay, so I'm not sure if I can give you the how old you were. I'll try. And who rescued you? Any comments on abductees, Sheree, while I shuffle?
I think that when we find out the truth, that we're going to wish that we could go back in time and hang those people in our government that made this deal.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I got a feeling that they've already been dealt with. Either they've been tried and their sentences are being held waiting for them, for this to be over so they can serve their time or pay the cost. Okay, so
I'm
Colleen,
okay with you.
this is for Colleen. Wow, starting off right away. Well, if there was any doubt, remember when I said that she was floated out of her window? That's like this right here, and that even looks like a UFO right there. So the cards definitely are confirming that you were abducted, and that could be my Pleiadians card. Well, oh wow, look at that, the devil. So these were the bad guys that abducted you. It was traumatic for you. Okay, now ignore these upside down cards. That's just because I dropped my cards. So we're going to set these all to right. And so I can't tell you it was specifically the Pleiadians. Actually, it was an angelics. I believe it was or so you were rescued. You were guided. It's like you were guided. It's almost like you found a way to resist on your own. So it's not like it wasn't like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo busting out Princess Leia from the Death Star. It was more like you were guided on how to not you weren't rescued, so you were put back, but you were given some type of ability to block it from happening again. You were protected. All right. So I want to say that you were probably abducted. They did some procedures on you and you were returned, but then after that, you were given a way to protect yourself so it didn't happen again. Okay. Um,
She says that she supposedly has 4 implants, 2 on and 2 off.
what you mean? You mean two have been taken out?
Now she just says 2 on and 2 off.
I don't know what that means.
And 2 of them are active and 2 of them aren't.
Oh, yeah, okay. Um, no, so actually, I don't. They're not active anymore. Okay. They've been made inert or inactive. All
Good.
right. And you're protected. This could be like an ancestor here, either an angelic or some higher entity with this empress that, and you called for this protection yourself. Um, yeah.
Good.
So, did anybody catch the video? It was on YouTube, and then they went over to Rumble. It was Janine and Jean Claude talking about attacks, demonic attacks. Did anybody happen to see that?
Yep, sure did.
So, it's ironic, or it's a coincidence that we talked about this. Honey and I talked about this. This is my notes from last week for Honey, and you see negative entity attacks. So it's pretty cool that this was on my mind last week, and then I saw Janine and Jean Claude talking about it. And
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago I had an attack.
what happened to you?
I was sleeping and all of a sudden it felt like I had this electrical charge going through my body. And I woke up and I had one hand on Boo Boo and he screeched too at the same time. So evidently he was getting the charged through my hand.
That's
So
your cat.
I put up, yep, my black cat. So I would try to verbalize for it to be gone and to leave me alone. And I was finally able to get by the blood of Jesus, Tasha out for it to stop. But it definitely gave me a jolt awake. My whole body was shaking. So
Hmm.
I put up more protections in my bedroom.
Yeah,
But
invoking the name
yeah,
of Jesus Christ will banish any dark entities immediately, even if you're not a Christian.
yep.
Uh, I I I wouldn't say the blood of Jesus because that's this other like perverted view of the whole cross and the crucifixion and the blood. Leave out the blood, I think. Okay, because it wasn't Jesus's death that rescued us. We all have Christ consciousness in us. We all have the same power as Jesus Christ. So you can use that.
I kept
Um,
trying to. I kept trying to call upon Jesus, and finally, the only word that came out of my mouth was blood, and then I was able to say, "By Jesus, to Kasia."
mm,
So
well,
it's one of those things.
whatever
Whatever
works
could go.
for you. For me, I
Yeah.
don't like the whole blood like people, Christians say things like I've been cleansed in the blood of Jesus. Think about how that actually sounds when you say that.
Um,
But anyways, getting back to the demonic attack, yeah, Tucker Carlson described an attack where he had physical evidence of it, and that's what I want to talk about. Show you guys what happened to
yeah.
me. So I'm going to share my screen,
Oh,
and here are some pictures that I took. I put them in the form of a video. So first off, you see the date here. This was 16th of April 2021. This was before I started my YouTube channel, and this was when I was going through a very bad time. I It was during the COVID thing. I didn't have work. I'd lost my job, and I was barely surviving. And at the same time that this was going on, I'm going to show you these pictures in just a second. The floor of my house fell in. Does anybody remember that? Like the very
yep.
floor under my feet collapsed, completely caved in.
I remember
And
that.
and and while that was going on, before I got it fixed, these boards were opening up under my feet. And underneath my house, there's like a pit that's full of water. And they actually pulled a fish out when the repairmen were here and they went under the house. A snakehead fish, that's one of those walking fish, about this big, over a foot long. The guy pulled it out, took it home, and ate it. So we have these perennial floods here every year, two or three times a year. The waters flood right up to the base of the house, and then there are these ventilation openings in the foundation of the house where water pours in, and fish can come up from the gutter because I have fish. I have this tiny little gutter next to my house, and there are fish living in there. And so they come out and they get under the house, and then when the water goes down, they're trapped down there and they can't get out. So, how long does it take for a fish to get this big? That fish must have been down there for 4 or 5 years, eating
Oh my God.
mice and cockroaches and whatever else was down there. Anyways, but during that time when the floor was opening up, these insects were coming out and attacking me. So as a pestilence, I had this that was one of the attacks I had was pestilence. My legs were covered in insect bites,
Oh,
and I but I just and I knew I was under attack. I This was a time when just before I started my mission as a tarot card reader, which by the way I was given when I was 19 years old, I was told that I needed to be here in the end times to help people through it. Okay, so it had begun, and I was just about to start my mission as a tarot card reader, but I hadn't yet, and I was struggling to survive, just putting food on the table and feeding my pets, and it was a really bad time. But I was being stoic. I'm like, nope, this isn't gonna bother me. I can get through this. And then this happened, and I'm going to show you the pictures now again. Okay, so I was getting these rashes at the same time I was getting the insect bites on my legs. My neck and chest and my back were getting these rashes. These horrible they were painful, they were itchy, they burned. It felt like a chemical burn.
Mm.
Um, I wasn't in the sun. It wasn't from being in the sun. Sometimes I used to put my at that time I would put my phone on my chest to listen to stuff, but I don't think it was from my phone. And then I started to notice it looks like a hand. Now it's really hard to see it here, but this is the palm, and then you can see there's one, two. Well, let me show you the next frame. I tried to zoom in on it. Okay, so you can see these red circles here, like from fingers, right?
Yeah.
And I put my hand there to show you how it perfectly fits with a hand print. Okay.
Oh my God.
Um, so I was convinced that that was a demonic attack, on top of all the other things that were going with me. And this, remember, this is April. I got my first tarot cards for reading and changed my YouTube channel over to what it is today in October. April, May, June, July, September, October. So it was 6 months before that. And so they knew that I was about to enter into this role of helping people with my tarot cards and my intuitive insights that I've gleaned over the past 40 years of having been awake and trying to understand what was happening here in our world. So they, whoever the bad guys are, knew that I was about to enter into this and they were trying to break me. I felt they were trying to get me to give up, right?
Before you started, yeah.
And they were just throwing everything they could at me, and I just saw it as a sign that things were about to change, that we were about to enter in this time. Hold on a second. Hello? Sorry, I have to take this.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. It's my delivery driver is coming. My wife will get that, so I don't have to get up. Okay, so yeah, and now in the video that Janine and JC did recently, they're talking about recently attacks have been stepping up. So I want to say that attack that happened to me in 2001, that's all part of this. See, and I don't want this to make it sounds like where I'm being arrogant and I'm trying to say that I've been doing this longer, but I have. Okay, I started this journey when I was 19 years old. I'm 60 now. It's been almost 40 years, or it's been around 40 years. And things really started heating up 3, 4 years ago. So since I'm like been in this, I mean, where was JC 40 years ago? Janine didn't start thinking about this stuff until 4 or 5 years ago, you know. So yeah, I'm OG, right? So they came after me earlier, the demonic attacks. But the way I dealt with it is I just said, you can do anything you want to me. It's not going to break my spirit. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that. Let me see what people have to say in the chat. Okay, yeah, Colleen says you're divinely protected. We are all divinely protected. But even when bad things happen, they happen for a positive reason. Um, I never thought of Shakespeare as being like much of a philosopher or a guru, but he's the one who said there is no there's nothing bad, only thinking makes it so. So everything that
Definitely.
happens to you, if you think that it's you're a victim, then you're a victim. All right. But everything bad that happens to us happens for a positive reason. I know it's hard to accept sometimes when some really horrible, horrible things happen. But it's like going back to what I was saying. It didn't kill you, and you know what? Even if it does kill you, that's not such a terrible thing. You know, we're all gonna go sometime.
Exactly. Yeah. The thing is, just
Ooh.
because we don't remember our soul contract doesn't mean that we're not living through our soul contract.
Oh, Tim is asking who am I talking to? This is Cherie Saunders. Say hello,
Hi,
Cherie.
Tim. Oh, I followed wrong.
And
Just like,
Cherie started off just as a client and someone who I became a mod, and I consider Cherie my confidant. Um,
thank
so
you, Sky.
when I need somebody to talk to, she's this. And you're not that much older than me, but I think of you as this mother figure, because I can't talk to my mother like this.
Well, if nothing else, I'm a good listener. I've been told
Well,
that.
and you're very knowledgeable and you're very intuitive too. So I've learned in our time together to trust you when you tell me something, to listen to you, and you have a lot of knowledgeable insights as well.
And like I say, question everything.
Tim Brown grew up surfing where I lived. So Cocoa Beach, Tim. Cocoa Beach, Melbourne Beach, Sebastian Inlet is a big surfing place. Serena says when she was a teenager, she was playing with a Ouija board. I did that as well when I was young, and I had the what's it called? The thing, the planchette.
Hmm.
My cousin and I were playing with one, and it would answer our questions really fast. Um, and one time it stopped answering. It kept going to goodbye, and I grabbed the planchette and I grabbed the board and I rubbed it like this. And I said, "No, you can't go until we tell you you can go." And I put the planchette down. We put our fingers on it, and it went whoosh to goodbye. I mean, it shot out from under our fingers by itself. I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. Put the Ouija board away, never touched it again. My mother kept telling us not to play with it. She later on told me that the board flew across the room one time when she was doing it as a child. So yeah,
I
don't
think,
mess with Ouija boards.
yeah, I think our generation messed around. I know my stepdad bought one and brought it home so that we could try and contact Louis, my real daddy that was haunting us. And we never had anything bad happen, but he ended up being very jealous of a dead man. Does that make any
Well,
sense?
no. See, Tanya says she was attacked in a dream on Halloween,
Ooh.
but she just told it to leave her alone. See, that's really all you have to do with these entities. They have no real power over you, okay? And you can dispel them with a thought. And like I said, invoking the name of Jesus Christ really helps. But remember, you're the masters of this world. They're they're just constructs in it. You are the creators. We are the co-creators. So we're the masters. We have mastery over them or it. They
Yeah,
don't have.
my brother says that he just wakes up and starts laughing at him. thinking that isn't going to bother me any, and he just laughs at him and they leave him alone.
Yeah, I turned my back on them. So I told this story just last week, but I'll do it real quick again. I was living in this apartment. Uh, the tenant who had lived in it before me committed suicide. Um, I had my Thai girlfriend came to live with me there, and when she did, she brought a bunch of amulets that she put over the doors. Then we broke up, and she left. Immediately after she left, and she took the amulets out, my ceiling from my bed, it was a studio apartment, so when I the ceiling was all white, and I had blackout curtains, but there was a little bit of light that could come in at the very top of the curtains that would illuminate the ceiling. So I could see when I looked up at the ceiling from my bed, it looked like all white. One day,
Mm.
as I was lying in bed trying to get to sleep, um, I noticed that it was black, like a black hole. I was thinking to myself, well, that's strange. Usually, I can see the white ceiling. And as I peered into this black hole, this evil demonic face came through and was looking at me. And
Mm.
I felt myself begin to feel fear. I immediately dispelled the fear, and I turned over on my side, and I turned my back on it because I said, "You have no power over me." And then in the name of Jesus Christ, be gone. And then when I looked back up, it was white again. And I never had another problem in that room after that. And I told it that it was not welcome there and to go away and never come back.
And it didn't invoke the fear that it wanted.
Okay, Lacey Blue wants to know if the cards have a message for her for the coming week. Let me do that for Lacey. And while I'm doing this for Lacey Blue, can you go through the chat, see if you find anything that I could help? And so here's for Lacey Blue for the week. She wants to know if the universe has a message for her in particular for the week. Okay, Lacey Blue, the Chariot. I'm expect the unexpected, but I'm expecting martial law. Oh, and there's my martial law card. So this
Yep.
is kind of confirming what I'm expecting to see, or this could be telling us what you're expecting. We haven't got to the outcome yet, so let me hold off. In the past, now remember these cards should not be upside down. Here's our alliance card: Donald Trump and the alliance, the Q team, the whole Q team. The Three of Swords is in the position of healing. Okay, but I got to remember this is for Lacey Blue. Okay, so and I got to focus this specifically for Lacey Blue. I'm wondering, this could be your boss and work. So it looks like you might have a really big, a really busy. Um, you're going to be really busy. Okay. Uh, could have something to do with your work. I can read this two ways. On a very mundane, day to day, you know, daily life type of way. But this week is not going to be an ordinary week with the election. And with this emperor, it's got to be talking about Donald Trump. Okay, so here's Donald Trump. And then the outcome is the Six of Cups, which is like protection. It's when It's like the protection that of a older brother taking care of a younger sibling. And since we have this emperor in, so things might get scary this week where you're at, Lacy Blue, but don't worry, you're going to be safe. Okay, you're going to be protected. Your advice is there is an alliance. There's a group of people who are working together. This group of people is not known by the mainstream. They're not part of the mainstream government. And this is like the all of us, the community, that we're going to be supporting each other during this time. But I can't help thinking that now, Lacey Blue, if you could tell us in the chat, where are you? Are you in one of the cities that might have a problem? LA, Chicago, New York? But it doesn't matter because you're going to be protected and safe. You may even be able to help out others around you. Maybe you're the one. Yeah. Sorry.
เชนมีอีกไหมเดี๋ยว
Oh, I put it there.
โช
There's
เขาบอก no have ไม่ใช่ no
no what? Excuse me. Hey, there's two things. Go. They don't work for me. I already contacted those sellers. Send them back. All right. Sorry about that. Two of the items that I had ordered for my tech didn't suit me. They were the wrong items. I had to send them back, and that's what they were wanting.
Lacey
Okay.
Blue says he's in Washington State.
Okay, yeah, so that's one of the places that could be locked down by the military for sure. What, Olympia? Okay. When demons entered my room, I woke up immediately with a sticky, hollow feeling in my guts. Hmm. I had demons enter my mobile home. When they came in through the walls, it sounded like a rubber glove being pulled from a loosely gripped hand. You should be a writer, Russ. That's a great
Yeah.
description. I said, I've given my soul to the Lord, and they left quick. Yeah. Uh, I had another experience with demons and angels one time, and this is a pretty woo-woo story. And I wouldn't have believed it myself if I didn't have a friend there with me. But I went to see Carlos Santana playing at like a fair at the fairgrounds in Brevard County. And this is in Florida where I grew up. This was before his Supernatural, so he was still like people had forgotten about him. He was really small time. But I always loved Santana, so I went with my friend and we ate a bunch of mushrooms before we went. And I don't know if you guys know this. Santana is a very spiritual person, not religious. He's very connected with Source. He's very spiritual. And I knew this about him, and I was going through a very spiritual time of my life. I was about 30 years old at the time. And and so I went with my good friend, and he and I were both doing these spiritual retreats. We would go spend days in the mountains seeking God. And we ate a lot of mushrooms at the time. Anyways, so we're at this fairground. Now all these Florida boys are there to rock and roll. And we're up near the front of the crowd, and right behind us there are these drunk rednecks, and they are just hooting and hollering and made it almost impossible to enjoy the show. And I'm the type of person, I can't keep it to myself. So I turned around, I told them to shut the fuck up. And I was really forceful about it. And they got angry. It looked like they were getting ready to fight. And suddenly, as the music was playing, so you got to remember, Carlos is up there on the stage. He's channeling this power of good and light. These guys were channeling evil and darkness. Suddenly, above them, I saw a group of demons that were egging them on. And then when I looked above us, I saw a group of angels who were protecting us. And I got goosebumps telling the story right now. And remember what I told you, when you're high on when you're I shouldn't even say high, when you're having the psychedelic experience, you don't see things that aren't there. You don't hallucinate. You can see more of what's around you. That's how these things work. It opens the corpus callosum, the gatekeeper, the doors of perception, and it allows more information to come in.
Mm.
And suddenly, the guys who were who were rabble rousers, they settled down. There was something about my voice. I commanded them to be quiet so we could enjoy the show. And I turned around, ignored them, ignored the demons, and I knew that we were protected by angels, and we enjoyed the rest of the show. Later
Oh,
on,
wow.
I spoke to my friend Rich. I said, Rich, did you see the demons and the angels that were over them and over us? He said, yeah, I did. And I don't know if he was just playing along with my hallucination, but I think we both saw the same thing. We talked about it later on, that we could feel this confrontation of good versus evil, and the good won. And the power of Carlos's music helped with that too. So
Oh, wow.
that was pretty cool. I wanted to share that
Yeah,
story.
that's neat.
There's a new documentary about Carlos Santana just out right now called Carlos, and it is amazing. He is a beautiful soul.
I've always loved his music.
Yeah, and I grew up with Latino music. My mom was born in Cuba, raised in Key West. Um, I have a very strong connection to the Hispanic people, and my mother used to play Cuban music in the house all the time. So I have a love for the Latino music. And yeah, so when Carlos merged that with rock and roll, what a great
Mhm.
thing. Oh, Shaylin, yes. Can you help me find her question? Um,
Okay, let me look here.
Thank you, Lucy. Nice to see you in the chat, Lucy. Colleen asked, "Where's the documentary?" So I get all my entertainment through these streaming sites. Technically, I'm stealing it, right? But I don't know. To me, everything on the internet should be free anyway. But then I wouldn't make any money doing what I do. So I don't know. You just have to search for it, Colleen. I'm not sure how you would find it. Cuban coffee, yeah, that stuff is good. Did you find that question yet? Shaylin Diaz.
I'm not finding it. Maybe she can type it in for us again because I'm not.
Let me see if with my poor vision.
Oh, just a second. I have to go to a commercial. Hold on.
Oh, we're in a commercial.
Yep. Okay. Shaylin. Can you do my question that is above?
It's
I'm
pretty
looking at
far
both
up there. Okay.
feelings.
And she says, I saw where she says, bye, Elisa. Oh, Elisa had to go.
There it
Okay.
is. I
You see
found
it?
it. I found it.
Okay.
Yep. Please ask cards if EBS is tomorrow night, like Jeff Graham said is going to happen, and to get ready. He said Trump is going to make an announcement tomorrow. I haven't heard, I didn't see that, but
Okay. What I'm gonna do is say the name of the person who made the prediction.
Ray, Jeff Rahm.
Jeff Rom. Okay. So
No,
this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at him and see and look at what he said in and how much truth there is to it. Instead of asking it that way, the other way, like, is there gonna be another let's just look at this guy, Jeff Rom, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm going to tell you if his information is reliable. All right, so Four of Cups, Four of Wands, and the outcome is the World.
mm,
Okay, well, he believes what he's saying is true, and the world is cycles. It's beginnings and endings. So I'm going to say that it's a possibility, but there's a 50-50 chance. So it's really a non-answer. I mean, and I have to say that because it's like there's right now they have two plans that they could go with, right?
right.
As of right now, that's on track to happen. Okay. I can tell you that.
Interesting. Okay.
Things could change though. All right. Well, wow, we're coming up on 2 hours. I wasn't expecting to stay on this long, but I couldn't do it this long without you, Cherie. Having you here
Well,
to talk to it. Otherwise, I just really feel lost sitting here trying to do this by myself.
my pleasure as always, Scott. It's always fun.
I want to
And like
read
I
the
said,
chat.
we have such a great group of people that come on and interact with us. Lady T has a question.
Okay.
Hey Scott, my dad has this house on the market going on a year.
Hmm.
Is the $500,000 investment going to pay off with profit sometime in 2025?
Okay. Hold on a second. I'm just reading something what TU Golflight. Am I already experiencing Nasara? If so, okay, I'm sorry. I got distracted. So this is from Lady T, right?
Correct.
Hi, Robin, in Chicago. Nice to see you here. And she's wanting to know if her father's going to be able to sell her house in the next year for a profit. Is that right?
Correct. Or in 2025.
Or in 2025? What's going on with Daddy's house? Hey, Robin. This is your father. Hmm. Oh yeah, there's this big celebration going on. This is like in the present though. It seems like your father is confident. King of Swords. So I'm expecting we're going to be well into Nasara by then, which is sovereignty. And when with this kind of sovereignty, um, and it's freedom. I wonder when I ask about property and I get the devil come up, this represents the mortgage. Okay, because a mortgage is something that you're a slave to, basically. And this is an ending, so and sovereignty. So it doesn't matter whether or not he sells the house. He's going to. It's like, see, there's no pentacles here. In the whole spread, there's no pentacles. Money is not even going to be like something that we're thinking about in 2025. Um, Sovereignty to do with your property, whatever you want to do with it. An end to mortgages. So people are, you know, if you bought your house, you don't even really completely own it, you know. Um, Governments and banks can come in and take your property at any time through what different ways. If you don't, what happens if you don't pay your taxes on your house? Right? I don't know. I'm asking what happens. So money's not going to be an issue. There's no money in the cards regarding your father's house, but there is sovereignty. There is becoming the masters of our own destiny. What's going on with Stacy? Why is she famous? Wow, Ricky, Stacy famous. What did I miss here in the chat?
She said that she's met a new Australian love. Can you pull cards on this new love?
All right. Is he in
That's good to
Australia?
hear.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I know that she has recently be gone out on her own from a relationship, and she's, it's hard when you're used to being in a relationship and then you're suddenly single and you're alone. Um, Everybody needs somebody like that. So I'm really happy for you. Stacy, where is he? Is he in the States or is he over in Australia? That I need to know that for the reading. And while you're answering, um, Cherie, you tell me what she says about where is and what's his name? What's his first name? You don't have to give his real name if you don't want, but whatever, just give me a name to focus on when I ask the universe about him and you.
Lady T says, thank you, Scott.
Yeah, I saw it.
Stacy
Well,
says he is in Australia.
he's in Australia.
So,
So it sounds like you're doing something I do, Stacy. Always you fall in love with the unattainable person. This is the story of my life. Uh,
and his name is Justin.
okay, so let's take a look at Justin in Australia. Hey, we're gonna have super fast transportation to anywhere in the world here very soon. I believe that that's
That's
true.
right.
So maybe it won't.
That,
Maybe you could board a hyperlink and be in Australia in a matter of hours, and then be home in time for dinner or whatever the next day.
or a paddle. What?
And okay, so Hangman and the Four of Cups. This is you, Stacy, and this is him. He's waiting for you. He's sitting there waiting for you to come to him. There's that Five of Cups because I know she's suffered a loss recently. Boy, this guy seems to be a really good catch, coming up with the King of Pentacles in the middle and the Tower. And the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands. Hmm. So what is this tower? Towers are one of the images about the tower is falling, and falling in love is a term that we use, right?
Correct.
So it's just the beginning of a relationship. So it's not like, I mean, what this could be saying is that it may be difficult because he's in Australia and because you're going to be waiting some time before you can actually be with him, and he's sitting there waiting to meet you. Both of these cards are like waiting cards, right? Actually, you're going to have to wait until this has to be like the big picture, the world events. We need the world events need to happen before this relationship can go any further. Let me see what happens after that. Seven of Cups, and then when it's all complete. So probably you're not going to be able to do much with this relationship until we're done with all this. So I wouldn't buy your ticket to Australia anytime soon. And let's wait and see how this plays out.
She says he is just the sweetest. So,
Hmm. Well, I did that as a relationship, but there's two people falling. So that could be, the tower can doesn't have to be a tragedy. It can be something that comes into your life really unexpected and changes everything, right? And in the tower, there's two people falling. So two people falling in love that changes their life forever. But it
I
also
like
could be
that.
saying that mhm. It also could be saying that you're gonna have to wait until after this great revelation because towers bring on great revelations. Okay, I probably should be wrapping this up because I'm over 2 hours, but I see one question here from Mindy C. Welcome, Mindy. I don't recognize your name. I don't know if I've had a question from you before, so I'd like to do it. Will my daughter Tracy be granted 100% custody of her daughter
Riley.
Riley in November 24th? Okay, so I'm assuming that November 24th is a court date for a custody battle for your daughter and her daughter. Looking for 100% custody. Let me see if I can give you an answer on that. And then after this, we're going to have to wrap it up.
Okay. I can't believe that we've been on that long. It's gone so fast and been so interesting.
Yeah, and like I said, you made it possible. I couldn't do this for 2 hours just sitting here by myself. Well, I know I'm not by myself. I've got 60 of you guys there watching, and I want to thank everybody who's taken the time to stay with us this whole time and for joining us tonight.
Definitely.
Appreciate you guys. Okay, so once again, where was it? Who am I doing this for?
You're doing
Um,
it for.
Mindy.
Yep.
Mindy and her daughter, and I really like questions like this, real world stuff. I can usually give very clear answers on things like this. Wait, you know what? I cut already. I don't want to double cut. I cut already. So Mindy, this is going to be your daughter. The first card represents your daughter. Okay. The Fool. That's a great card, actually. And the second card will represent the situation of the custody on the 24th. Oh, and that's a mother card. Well, it's looking great so far. Knight of Pentacles, Three of Wands. Now here's the most important thing, the outcome. Oh, and it's victory. So according to this, yes. She will, this is a mother being welcome home and being poured on with adulations. Oh, and there's the emperor. He's a ruler, but he's also like King Solomon. He's the one who can pass judgment. So this represents the judge or the court and the hangman. There might be a slight delay, okay, from the time of the ruling to where it actually happens. There might be a little bit of a waiting period, but not long. This position down here really reduces how much influence the hanged man has. Okay? But the answer is yes. There's going to be a welcoming her back into the motherhood, so to speak. But it looks like the courts are on her side. But it's also really important for your daughter to trust in the universe that regardless of this outcome, let's say I'm wrong, and let's say that she doesn't get 100% custody at that date. Don't lose hope because at some point she will. Okay? You have to trust that the universe is going to protect and take care of you. And I'm talking about your daughter. She and it looks like she has that because she's coming up as the Fool. She's someone, she either has a great faith in God or her ability to manifest her own reality through prayer, through a mother's desire to have this outcome. All right.
That's beautiful.
So TU Golf Lake was really hoping to find out if my account is getting sorry. It is because you're in default. Yeah. Um,
Thank you, Lucy.
Eventually, everybody has these questions about their finances and live now as if we're already in that state of wealth, you know. Um, don't hold on so tightly to your money. Spend it freely and spend it on other people and have you spend your money to enjoy your life. Okay, give it away.
Amen.
But you know, this is absolutely true. When you if you only have $10 and you see somebody who has no money and you give them half your money, it comes back 10 times as much if at some point. I've seen this happen for me, right? So spend your money freely as if it grows on trees, and that will
I've always,
bring in more money.
I've
Huh?
always, I've always spent my money like it was growing on trees because I always knew sooner or later I was going to be rich.
I'm I'm
It
terrible.
hasn't shown.
Okay, as soon as I get a little money, I just start spending. So I'm justifying all these gadgets I'm buying because it's like an investment in my YouTube channel. But the truth is, they're toys, and I want to have fun with them, especially the drone, which I really need to learn how to fly. It's not easy. It's my health
That's
savings,
great.
it's paying bills, but it's not deducting. Oh, so tug of life. I think this is what I thought this person was saying before. She's spending money, or he or she. I don't know which one. I'm going to assume it's she because 88% of my viewers are female. Um, she's spending money from her health savings, but it's not deducting. Yeah, that's things like this are happening all the time. There are already people experiencing the effects of Nasara. I've seen people's mortgages
Yeah.
being zeroed out, people's student loans being zeroed out without enigmatically, not even knowing how or why it happened. So it's happening.
Yeah, I've seen that online for several people too. And it is happening in the background.
Yeah, follow Dr. Heath Motley on Telegram. He's posting anecdotes of Nasara Jasara all the time. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
wrap
think
it
I
up.
have.
Yeah, he's a really
Dr. Heath.
my only problem with him is he's always saying, "Here's a QD code that proves that it's happening Friday night. Everybody get ready." I can't tell you in the 4 years that I've known him for longer than that, but in the 4 years since this thing heated up, how many times he's posted something that predicted it's going to happen this weekend. And I'm just so over those. I but
Yeah.
but that guy's unflappable. No matter how many times he's posted something that turns out to be wrong, he still has great faith. All right. So thank you everybody who joined in the chat. You guys make this possible. I really appreciate you, and especially to you, Cherie. Thank you so much for your time and for your help.
Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you for inviting me again. I appreciate you very much too.
All right.
And appreciate everybody that shows up to listen to us jabberjaw.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a good
You have a
night
good night.
wherever you are, or a good day if you're over in Australia. And
Blessings to everybody.
and hold on, it's going to be a wild ride this week.
Amen.
Goodbye, everybody.